Hi, learning programming is not an easy task. It requires to learn the use of different set of tools, different methodologies, but something that is very important is your motivation and mindset. That is why the next step in the foundations of the Odin Project, remember that we are learning programming through the Odin Project. The next step is to learn how to develop and maintain, keep your motivation and mindset. It is important to have that, not just for the Odin Project, but for any other endeavor you can participate, you can follow. So today's class is about motivation and mindset. Is the next step in the Odin Project. So stay until the end of this video and learn how motivation and mindset can help you continue with the acquisition of knowledge in a very efficient manner with the Odin Project. So remember, we are in the foundations course. Now you can look at the screen. I will read it to you and comment on this. And let's learn together the next step, motivation and mindset. So it says, let's begin. Introduction. It says here, learning to code is incredibly rewarding, but can also be difficult and frustrating, as I mentioned before. Like any skill worth knowing, it takes time to acquire, and it can be learned in a weekend or even a month. It can't. So it's not short time. It takes long time. That is why you need to keep motivation. With that said, we believe anyone can learn how to program as long as they are willing to put in the time and effort. So before we get into the meat of the curriculum, we'll cover the following aspects to help you get the most out of the Odin Project. Factors that will help you succeed in learning to code, and the pitfalls that you should try to avoid. Okay, that is the introduction. That is what we will learn today, and remember that that is related to motivation and mindset to keep you going through the learning process. So the lesson overview. The lesson overview for today says, this section contains a general overview of topics that you will learn in this lesson. First, recognize sensible mindsets that promote healthy learning. Second, understand helpful ways to approach learning and struggling. Third, things to avoid along your learning journey with TOP or the Odin Project. Let's begin with motivation. It says here, take a moment to think about why you have decided to learn programming. Do you want to have a fulfilling career that pays well? Are you excited by the creative outlet programming provides? Are you determined to develop the skills and abilities to build any app you can think of? Or do you want to start your own company by turning an idea into reality? So your motivation could be a combination of these reasons or something else entirely. Whatever it is, hold on tightly to your motivation. I emphasize that. Hold on tightly to your motivation, whatever reason, either one of these or any other one. This, holding on tightly to your motivation, this will be what pulls you through to the end of this journey, giving you a definitive goal to aim towards. So begin by defining what is it that you want. What is your motivation to continue? Maybe you can write it on a sticky note, or you can write it on a board and look at it every day, so you keep in mind what you aim for, the reason to continue the struggle. Now, let's see the next topic, which is growth mindset. It says, your mindset is very important when teaching yourself any new skills, not just programming. Your mindset will have more of an impact on your chances of success than just about anything else. Someone with the fix here, the author will mention different mindsets, but pay attention to each one. Someone with the fixed mindset believes if they don't get something on the first attempt, they never will. They believe that they aren't smart enough to be able to do or understand some things. However, there is a wide body of research showing that intelligence is not fixed, but can instead be developed. So someone with the growth mindset believes they can get better at anything with effort and persistence. It's different. The growth mindset is different to the fixed mindset. What does this mean for you? It means you can learn new skills and develop new talents with persistence and grit. Okay? There will be many times throughout the Odin Project that you will get stuck on a concept or a programming problem and may find yourself questioning your ability to learn programming. When you find yourself in this position, remind yourself that you may not get it yet, but that with persistence and grit, you will. Struggling with something is growth. It doesn't matter how long you struggle with a concept or a project. All that matters is that you have the grit and the tenacity to see it through. So, in other words, you have the growth mindset. That's how real learning happens. Now, by the way, remember what is the meaning of grit? According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says that grit is firmness of mind or spirit, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. So you need to have persistence, and you need to be determined in your mind. So to push you forward, to go through it. Now, let's continue. While you are working through the curriculum, embrace the struggles you encounter with difficult concepts and complex projects. Be sure to celebrate your persistence in overcoming those struggles. So, in other words, enjoy the struggle, make it a part of you. Okay? Help the struggle, the difficulty, use the struggle and difficulty to help you growth. Okay? Next, when you find yourself questioning your abilities, reflect on the successes you have already achieved while learning to program. What, for example, the projects you have completed and the concepts you once didn't understand but now do. This is all the proof you need that you can do it. In other words, use the little successes you previously had in order to push you forward through new difficulties. Now, let's read the next topic, which is the learning process. Okay? Remember, keep the growth mindset. Now, let's see through the learning process. Learning concepts and then practicing them will help you to more fully understand how things work and fit together. Projects are the ultimate method for ensuring that your theoretical understanding aligns with how the programming concepts and techniques actually operate. When learning, your mind will consistently switch between focus mode and diffuse mode. Let's see what each one is. Focus mode occurs when you are consciously focusing on learning, reading, watching videos, or working on a project. So you keep focus on that. Now, diffuse mode occurs subconsciously at times when you are not actively learning, such as when you are doing the dishes, exercising, or sleeping. In this state, your mind goes about the business of connecting what you have been learning to the other things you know. This is where breakthroughs happen. Okay, so switching between between focus and diffuse mode will help you learn. So it's a continuous saying. It's important to know that your mind goes through these two states when learning, because you can utilize this to make your learning more efficient. So in other words, you don't need to be focused all the time on learning. You have to sometimes disconnect and let your mind work unconsciously to make sense, to organize all the information. So when stuck on a concept or project, taking a break to refresh and let your conscious work on making connections more often than not yields a solution to your problem. That is something that I can tell for experience. And sometimes I got stuck in learning something, so I decided to stop and do something else, or simply go walking or exercising or doing other things, and incredibly sometimes sleeping. Then I woke up or came back with the solution. It comes like this: let your subconscious mind work. That is what it means. So it says here, the trick is to put effort into solving the problem, then and then take a break. Again, the trick is to put effort into solving the problem first and then take a break, okay? When you get stuck into it. In short, understand it, practice it, and finally teach it. 3 steps: understand it, practice it, and finally teach it. Because teaching what you know to others is a great way to solidify what you have learned, and can often reveal holes in your knowledge that you wouldn't have identified otherwise. And that is the reason why I'm recording these videos, because it helps me to learn. Remember that I am not an expert full stack programmer, so I'm also learning as you are, and it helps me follow the learning path. Okay, it says here, you can practice this method of learning by helping others in our community, as I am helping you in this moment. Now, the next topic is what to do when you're stuck. You will inevitably get stuck at some point in the curriculum, perhaps due to a concept that you're having difficulty understanding, or perhaps due to something not working correctly in a project. Whatever it is, use the following tools to get unstuck. What tools? First, Google it. You can be certain someone else out there has encountered the same problem as you at some point. A quick Google search can often lead to a solution. So you are stuck, Google it. Find somebody else's solution to this problem. The second recommendation is take a break. That is, allow your diffuse learning state to work on the problem. So let it go. Simply do something else. Get your mind out of it and let it work unconsciously into solving the problem. Next, ask for help in the top Discord server. Come prepared with your research. Okay, you can go contact the people in Discord. People will be more willing to help you when they can see you have already put effort into trying to figure out the solution on your own. So try, make your part, and if you don't find the solution, come with whatever you have done and share it with others and ask for help in the Discord server. If you click here, you will get access to that Discord server. Now, this is interesting. Additionally, feel free to follow the diagram below to help you navigate problems that you may come across. Now, let's take a look at it. So this is a flow chart. It starts, you begin here, it starts with do lesson introducing the concept, and then practice the concept. Okay? Then, if it's successful, am I aware, ask yourself after practicing the concept, am I aware how to solve it? Okay? Again. You begin by doing the lesson introducing the new concept. After that, practice the concept. Then ask yourself, am I aware how to solve it? If the answer is yes, finish the exercise. You already completed it, you managed to learn it. If it is not, ask yourself, have I researched and experimented? Have I researched and experimented? If the answer is yes, ask again. Have I asked for guidance? Okay. If the answer is yes, in this case, go back to practice the concept, and then go to, am I aware how to solve it? Yes, you finish the exercise. Now, let's go back to the previous point. Have I researched and experimented it? If you say no, research the concept, go back to practice the concept, ask yourself again, am I aware how to solve it? And then finish the exercise. On the other hand, if you have asked for guidance and your answer is no, go to ask a question. So, after that, ask yourself, is the help useful? If yes, go to practice the concept, ask yourself, am I aware how to solve it, and then finish the exercise. If the answer is no, go back to the beginning, do the lesson introducing the concept, then practice the concept, ask yourself, am I aware how to solve it, and finally finish the exercise if the answer is yes. If the answer is no, repeat the process again until you manage to learn the new concept, practice it, and teach it completely. Okay, that is how to use this diagram. Remember that this is in the Odin Project website. You can follow this. If you click on it, I think, yeah, you can download it. And let's see if you can download it. Yes, you can save the image. I'll do it, okay, to keep it as a reference. So I will put here flow chart. You can also do it yourself, okay? Save it and use it for future reference. Now let's go back to this, the learning process. Okay, let's go back here and let's continue with the next topic. Okay, here we have a note on AI, artificial intelligence code generation. Now pay attention to this. This is very, very, very important. It says here, as technology advances, we have seen some incredible tools emerge that can help accelerate the coding capacity. One particular area that has exploded in popularity lately is the usage of large language models, or LLMs, and generative AIs for code completion, like GitHub Copilot, and code generation like ChatGPT, and not to mention Claude coding, etc. So those are advanced tools. Now, pay attention. While these tools are amazing, learners should be aware of the impacts that using such tools can have on core competency. David Humphrey, a computer science professor, wrote about ChatGPT and its potentially negative impacts on core learning. It is a good read about the pitfalls of using generative AI in an educational context. Well, I will not read the article, but I found things that are good to ponder about. So, it says here, let me read just a small part of this. It says here, however, as regards the use of these new technologies, it says here, however, I'm not sure how to understand it as part of student learning. My daughters, who are seeing the same thing happening among their peers at university, encourage me to think about this outside the context of my own courses. Nothing you do in your class is going to change what's happening. This is a global phenomenon, the daughters of this guy say. Now, of course, they are right, so let's be clear. This is happening. People are using large language models, or LLM, to write their code from GitHub's own marketing. It says here, back in June 2022, we reported that GitHub Copilot was already generating 27% of developers' code. Today, we are seeing this happen more and more, with an average of 46% of code being built using GitHub Copilot across all programming languages, and 61% among developers using Java. Okay, and it mentions the different advantages, the saving time, whatever, a lot of things. However, he points in this paragraph his opinion after evaluating other things. He says here, in my opinion, and pay attention to this because this is important, the students learning to program do not benefit from AI helping to remove the drudgery of programming. At some point, you have to learn to program. You can get there by avoiding the inevitable struggles of learning to program. Okay? And he says, Dave, maybe you had to learn that way, but that word is gone. It's true. I've been programming continuously for 40 years. Following my inefficient, meandering path today would have zero benefit. It's impossible to go back, and I wouldn't want to. The potential for modern tooling, including AI, is too significant. We can't ignore or forbid AI in education. But having students use it to literally write their assignments isn't going to work either. Okay? So, what he's saying, let me give you a summary because it would take long to read this article, is that you cannot rely completely for code writing on the sole use of these technologies. You have to face real challenges, different situations, and solve them by yourself. Understand how the solution works and how to get to it. You can use these tools as a support system, but you cannot make it the only way to solve this problem. You have to go through the learning, and learning goes through solving difficult tasks or problems. So don't let your mind not develop the abilities you need to actually program in the real world, okay? By relying solely on the code written by artificial intelligence. That is the message of this guy in his article. So let's continue with the reading here. It says here, for learners who are new to programming, tools like ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot can result in blind spots and gaps in your knowledge. Blind spots and gaps in your knowledge. Yeah, because you are not the one who solves the problem. Okay? You are simply relying on artificial intelligence to solve the problem. And you don't realize how the problem must be solved. So, and he mentions here 7 points to be aware of. Number 1, by using a generative AI, learners may miss the opportunity to discover how something works and how and why things are done that way. Second thing that you miss, asking good questions is an important skill, and relying on generative AI instead of asking people like our helpful Discord community can delay the development of this skill, asking good questions to solve new challenges, new problems. Number 3, learning to talk about the code that one writes is another important skill. In a professional environment, it is likely that you will be doing code reviews where you have to explain the how and why behind what you are presenting. In fact, that is something that you have to do while learning programming in the university in Ecuador. Okay? You have to write why and how it works like that. Using the Odin community to ask good questions about your code when you require help can help develop this skill as well. Number 4, as David Humphrey mentions, the output of generative AI must be closely scrutinized, and learners who are new to programming generally don't have a good overall understanding to be able to determine if the output is good or bad. That is why a lot of people find bugs, mistakes, vulnerabilities, serious vulnerabilities in the code provided by AI, and they do not how to find them. Okay? They do not understand how to determine if the output is good or bad. Number 5, while learning how to provide good prompts to an AI tool is a skill, it is supplementary to developing foundational programming skills. The Odin curriculum strives to teach that foundational skill, develop the foundational programming skills, not simply prompting. 6, AI tools are designed to answer questions and are not designed to help learners develop research and problem-solving skills. Okay, that is something you won't develop if you rely solely on AI tools. If you ask an AI for information, it will provide information to you. If you ask a human, they may invite you to share your understanding of the problem and offer some guidance on how to discover a solution. You see, the focus is different. and the focus humans provide are more helpful in your learning path. Next, and this is the last one, it says, without practice in research, problem solving, and critical thinking, interviews could be a struggle, since it is very likely that applicants would not be allowed to use AI tools. You see? So you most likely you'll fail in interviews, or you'll have problems, okay, when applying for a job. Okay? It says here, and it is separate, and at the end it says, we do not recommend using AI tools for your learning. We do not recommend using AI tools for your learning. Keep that in mind. Do not rely on AI tools. In fact, follow this method and don't use AI tools. Okay, now another topic that is important, okay, in as regards the mindset and motivation, is managing your study time. So it says here, let's read. You will have more success with Odin by putting consistent time into it rather than working on it once a week. Building a habit of studying every day at a specific time and with a specific goal will ensure that you make consistent progress. So make it a part of your day-to-day schedule. It may take you longer than others to grasp concepts, or it may take you less time. This doesn't mean you're smarter or dumber than others. It means you've had different life experiences that may or may not have prepared you for learning those concepts. Someone who grew up around an engineer may have certain advantages over someone who didn't. But it doesn't mean you can't learn those skills. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The Odin Project isn't like college or university. It is self-paced and allows you to get a solid grasp of concepts before moving on. In a school, you are forced to keep up or you will fail. The difference with the Odin Project is that you are not expected to have much prior knowledge. There are no prerequisites. We've had people be successful coming through here who only knew how to check their email with a computer. We've also seen success from computer science degree holders. Treating the Odin Project like a static timeline is understandable, but it is a sign of misplaced expectations. You don't know what you don't know yet, and that's okay. There are no due dates on lessons in the Odin Project, so you can spend enough time to do it right and discuss the topic. And that is a characteristic that you have to use for your own advantage. If you take longer to learn, if you don't have the background to learn, it's okay if you take more time than other people. The idea is to keep consistent, set your study time, follow the schedule, okay? It says here, deadlines cause unneeded stress. Since the Odin Project is a free and open platform, you are not beholden to a deadline. Creating your own deadlines can lead to rushing through concepts that should not be rushed. This course is very research-based, meaning you will have to do research to complete tasks and projects. There's no guarantee you will find the right article or post quickly enough to meet your deadlines. But you will likely learn a ton along the way that you can use it in the future. People that do this kind of research and strive to write better solutions tend to become better developers in the future. There's no way to know how long it will take you to learn how to query concepts to find your answers. There are no solid guidelines on that. If you are doing the other project because you need a high-paying job right now, you are unlikely to become a solid developer within the time frame you have set. Stress and anxiety absolutely do not help you learn either. Relax and just enjoy the ride. Remember, relax and just enjoy the ride. Follow the good learning path. Okay? That is why it concludes like this. Long story short, don't worry. Just go learn. Relax. Okay, now the next topic says, and we're about to finish, some pitfalls to avoid. The following are some of the pitfalls that beginners often encounter when learning how to program. Try your best to avoid this. First, procrastination. And to tell you the truth, that is something I have to work hard to overcome. Procrastination will be your biggest enemy when trying to make progress. Your biggest enemy when you're trying to make progress. Solution to procrastination. The Pomodoro technique is a way of managing your time in order to stay focused. It says here, let me close this, we have read this already. The Pomodoro technique is described as having 6 steps. First, deciding on the task to be done. Number 2, setting the Pomodoro timer, typically for 25 minutes. You need a timer. It's free and you can get it on the internet. I show you one. Working on the task in the set time. Ending work when the timer rings and taking a short break, typically 5 to 10 minutes. After that, number 5, going back to step 2 and repeating until completes your Pomodori. And number 6, after your Pomodori are done, one takes a long break, typically 20 to 30 minutes instead of a short break. Once the long break is finished, one returns to step 2. Okay, that is how it works. So here it continues. The idea is to set a timer, again, is to set a timer for 25 minutes and to work on a task until the timer goes off. If you get distracted or interrupted during the 25 minutes, start the 25 minutes of work over again. Once you have successfully focused on work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. When your break is over, repeat the 25 minutes of work and 5-minute break. After you've completed your 25-minute blocks of work, take a longer 15 to 30-minute break. And that's it. That is how the Pomodoro Pomodoro technique works. You keep focused for 25 minutes, take a short break, and go back 25 minutes. After you completed that and you have learned, take a longer break and then go back to the 25 minutes learning period. Continue saying, the Pomodoro technique is great for avoiding procrastination as it forces you to work without distractions. Since the work time only lasts 25 minutes before taking a break, it's not overwhelming, making it harder to rationalize procrastination. If you want to try it out, Promo Focus is a customizable Pomodoro timer that works on desktop and mobile browser. Where is that? It's right here. Look. So you can, the URL is this one, promofocus.io. So Pomodoro, you can program the Pomodoro, which is 25 minutes. Click on Start, and that is the time to focus. And then you can program the short break, 5 minutes, okay? And you can program the long break, which is 15 minutes. I won't click on Start because I am not doing that right now. But that is the tool, one of the tools you can use, okay? So now we have learned about the Pomodoro technique to avoid procrastination, and we have seen Promo Focus, which is one tool you can use to help you with that. Now, not taking breaks. Next topic, not taking breaks. Things you have to avoid, remember. It says here, as you get into the material, you may feel compelled to continuously study for long periods of time. It might seem like you are getting more work done at first, but this often leads to burnout, which consequently results in lower productivity. It may seem counterintuitive, but you will actually get more done if you regularly step back to recharge your brain and body. Studies show that performance increases after breaks of all durations, from extended vacations down to micro breaks of 30 seconds. John Trougakos, Associate Professor of Management at the University of Toronto, says that mental concentration is similar to a muscle. Our focus becomes fatigue after sustained use and needs a rest period to recover, just like a bodybuilder resting between sets at the gym. Solution to that: use the previously mentioned Pomodoro technique to time how often and how long to take your well-deserved breaks. Feel free to play around and experiment with different frequencies and durations of breaks. What to do during your break? You can listen to music, you can journal, you can doodle, meditate, play a quick game, or go for a short walk outside. And here you have, check out this article for more information on breaks and productivity. The article is here. I won't read it, but remember, you have that, okay? For me, these suggestions are enough, the ones I have already read. But anyway, if you want, you can go to the article. It's like here, simpleprogrammer.com, taking breaks will boost productivity. Okay, it's again on the site, on the Odin Project site. Then something to avoid is digital distractions. Digital distractions are email, Facebook notifications, and time-wasting websites, such as social media. These distractions break your focus and make procrastination tempting. Therefore, they should be avoided during study time. How? What is the solution? Turn off notifications and add a blocker to your internet to limit your time on distracting sites. Wow. What I do is I'm usually distracted by the telephone. So what I do is that I disable all notifications. That's it. So I don't get distracted. Other distractions, physical distractions. Physical distractions are distractions from your environment, like a TV in the background or other people talking. These distractions can be just as damaging to your focus as digital distractions. What is the solution to this? Find a quiet place in your home where you can focus on your studies. If that's not an option, you can use noise-canceling headphones like this, for example, to block out noisy distractions in your environment. Sometimes people call me and I don't hear them. It's good, it works. There are also complimentary public and university libraries that are serene and comfortable. Some libraries operate 24/7 uninterrupted. Beyond just providing a pleasant study place, the presence of others studying around you instills a sense of productivity. Okay? Rabbit holes. Wow, rabbit holes. What does it mean? It says here, because we cover so much material on the Odin Project and link to so many high-quality courses and tools, it is easy for students to get pulled into rabbit holes by spending time trying to learn all there is to know about a subject, and they aren't ready for or won't benefit them much. So it says here, we have put a lot of effort into structuring the curriculum so that all of the important things that you need to know about web development are covered exactly when you need to know them. Solution to this problem: stick to the path laid out as much as possible. Try to limit time spent going down rabbit holes, as these sidetracks can really ruin your momentum. Okay? Stick to the learning path set by the Odin Project. Another thing to avoid: comparing yourself to others. Students often compare themselves to others who are farther along their coding journey or have more experience. This is a recipe for depression and frustration. Focus on yourself, not on others. Solution: only compare yourself to your past self. Okay? Have your abilities and knowledge improve from where you were last week, last month, or last year? Be proud of the progress that you've made. Only compare the yourself now to the yourself in the past. You are moving forward. You are learning something new. and you are adding to that knowledge and growing. Remember, when I began, I didn't know this. Now I know more. So compare only to yourself in the past. Next, counterproductive note taking. The Odin Project does not recommend taking a lot of notes throughout your web development educational journey because it can be time consuming and often leads to wasted effort. Solution to that: instead of taking notes to use as direct references, make notes that can serve as prompts for further research. It is important to get comfortable with reading documentation, which essentially acts as pre-existing notes made by someone else. That is what you need to do. In conclusion to this, okay, to all this, remember, we have gone, today we learn about the motivation, what is the growth mindset, what is the recommended learning process. We review the flow chart, what to do when you're stuck, how AI code generation impedes your learning and growth, and how to avoid it, why to avoid it, how to manage your study time using the Pomodoro technique, and we just finished learning about the pitfalls to avoid. And the conclusion is, learning any new skill is a journey full of speed bumps and obstacles to overcome. We hope that the principles laid out here will put you in a much better position to succeed and get the most out of the Odin Project. So put this into practice. Assignment: have a look at how to become a top success story. I won't go through all of this. No. I will show you some of this, but you can do it by yourself, okay? So go to the Odin Project, remember to follow the learning path, and click on the different links. How to become a top success story is right here. You click on the link and it shows you this, a top strategy guide. A top strategy guide covers mindset, more parts, strategically build your portfolio, and conclusion. I will read it myself. I suggest you also do that. And then you can go to the top Discord server, Success Stories Forum. I tried to access it, but I didn't manage to get through it. But I think that won't be, you can do it, but that is not 100% necessary. And go to this. You can learn anything. Grit, believe you can get better. That is here. In the Khan Academy, the learning myth, why I'll never tell my son he's smart. This is this video. You can learn anything. You can learn anything. You can watch it. It's in Khan Academy, okay? Remember, the links are here in the Odin Project. It's short. It's good to read it. It will help you develop confidence. Next, you have Grit, the power of passion and perseverance. Is a short video, okay, in TED. And well, at the moment it's coming, you see. I won't play it. It lasts only 5 minutes, but I suggest you go through it. You can look for it, writing Grit, the power of passion and perseverance. I suggest you listen to it. Do it by yourself. And then the last one is the power of believing that you can improve. So look for it in TED, the power of believing that you can improve. It shows you, let the ad finish, okay? Let the ad finish. Oh my God. Okay. Let it finish. Jesus. Okay. And you can see this lady delivering this speech. It's only 10 minutes. Okay? 10 minutes. It's all in TED. So watch those. And that's it. I'll do the knowledge check. Knowledge check is some questions that you need to answer. Okay? The following questions are an opportunity to reflect on key topics in this lesson. If you can answer a question, click on it to review the material, but keep in mind you are not expected to memorize or master this knowledge. The first question is, what is the key difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset when encountering programming challenges? What do you think is that difference? Write that in the comment section, okay? Another question is, what are the two modes your mind switches between during the learning process and how do they differ? Remember, active and passive, okay? being aware, being focused, and leave it on automatic. Write in your own words in the comment section what those two are, what you think about it, how do they differ. Next, when you're stuck on a programming problem, what 3 main strategies does the curriculum recommend trying? Check the video again, find the answers, and write the answers in the comment section. Okay? Why does the curriculum recommend against setting strict deadlines for completing the Odin project? Do you remember why? Okay? Try to remember, because one thing that I remember is that not everybody learns the same way. So they may have different backgrounds, different formation, and they might need more time. Maybe the learning process are different. So if you remember other reasons why the curriculum recommends setting against strict deadlines, write that in the comment section also. And finally, how does Angela Duckworth define grit in the Tech Talk, and why is it important for learning to code? Remember that I read a definition of grit, which is firmness of mind or spirit and yielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. That definition is in the Merriam-Webster Dictionary of the English Language, but I suggest you watch the video of Angela Duckworth and write the answer in the comment section, okay? So just to help you practice, help you remember. And that's it. We have completed this lesson. I see you in the next video, okay? Have a great day and continue your learning path. Remember to review the comment section. There you have some recommendations, helpful recommendations from products and services that are beneficial. And remember that I get a small commission if you buy these products or services, okay? And that way you can help me continue with this effort. So everybody have a great day, take care, and go for it in your learning path. Bye-bye.